Good afternoon everybody, and welcome back to Newcastle International Airport for what will be a fairly shortish Friday show. Grateful if folks could confirm that the sound is okay and you can hear me loud and clear. Yeah, so pretty much 2 weeks since we were last here. Storm Airwin being the occasion. Seems a long time ago. Can't be the only person still standing that thinks that's a long time ago. Yeah, seems an age to me. Just fired up slightly earlier than the scripted time because we've got a Jet 2 inbound from Rome. So I'm going to go straight to the bottom of the chat. Good afternoon, Rab H. Sound perfect. Excellent. Thank you, Dopey Gorp. Good afternoon to you, my friend. Perfect. So 07 today. So I'm just going to pop us on the Emirates for the moment. Yet again, another one in the old livery. So reverse operations here, which is a nice change of pace. I'm just looking at the hedge behind me to see if I can actually get visual on the aircraft's lights. Basically, folks, if you're not used to this particular view, with runway 07 filmed from this perspective, the planes arrive from my left, come scooting over the hedge line, although hedge line is probably the most liberal use of the term headline, hedge line. Not a leaf to be seen, it's all twigs. So we'll do hi to the chat and everything in a minute. Hope you are doing well. If you don't know who I am, I'm Mark, so thank you so much for giving us a spin. Tell you what, it's treading water on the way in. I'm just going to have to have a quick look into flight radar. So we've got two arrivals pretty much back to back. Jet 2 holidays from Rome, as discussed. That's 737-800 left 2.5 hours ago or thereabouts. And we've got a Ryanair 737 inbound from Dublin, tucked in right behind it in its slipstream. The plane you were looking at, the 777-300 extended range, that's due out at 1:10. Came in slightly early, I think. Right, inbound plane now twinkling. So let's just see if all the cables are in the right place. There's the hedge line. I wonder if I can give you a bit of it through the hedge. Just to illustrate the point. So you're generally on your haunches, relying partially on flight radar, partially on your ears. There we go. Welcome home, baby. So as always, folks, gentle plea on likes. Let's get those likes on early. Skew the odds in our favour. Hopefully you've got a ticker tape on your screen. Really, it's a message to our beloved members, really, just to say, short show today. Please don't gift us anything. We're not going to be here long enough to deserve such generosity. We've already had a lot of kindness our way. And really, it's more a sort of, if you're not yet a member of the channel, just drawing attention to the fact that that is a really good way to support us. Anyway, I don't go for the hard sell, so I thought I'd just stick it on the screen. Right, let's have a look over my shoulder. I can't see the lights on the inbound aircraft. Right, the Ryanair has been cleared, so all is good. We'll see a nice firework moment somewhere there, Chipaz, member for 8 months. Any dancing today? I saw your comment in the chat, man. I did have to laugh. I can assure everybody there's no dad dancing. No boogie wonderland in today's show. Much as I'd like to. Right, this is out of the bushes. I've gone a bit too soon again, haven't I? A little bit of a wibble on. There is some crosswind in play today, and it is scripted anyway. I've not looked in Meta yet, but gusting up to around 20 knots, 23 mile an hour. Basically a southeasterly, which is sufficient to give us 07. So if you're new to the airport, right down the far end, if they come in that end, that is runway 25, where they're coming off the North Sea. If they come in at this end, it's runway 07, Newcastle only having a single track runway of around 2,300 metres. Right, while that vacates, I'm wondering where that Jet 2 has got to actually. If it's a bit nearer. There's a chopper inbound as well, and I've not put the chopper in. Oh, sugar! Ah! Members, I've not changed the emojis over. I do apologise. I've had one of those mornings, my brain's in, well, it's all over the place. So it's helpful that you've got an emoji that says you love Edinburgh when you're at Edinburgh. It's funny really, isn't it? I never cease to amaze myself. See, the windsock's got a good stretch on it there. Where's that chopper? The feds were over earlier on. That sounds like the same chopper. Yeah, no, it's not. I don't think it is actually. Let's get a better elevation. Yeah, so I think you're going to struggle emoji-wise today. You've got some Jet 2s in there, you've got some Logan Air. I don't think BA go out in the show, off the top of my head. Oops. And home again. Right, I feel a bit hello in the chat. Oh no, we haven't done Chipaz's fireworks. Chipaz, thank you for your support, mate. 8 months, soon goes, don't it? And it reminds me actually, I've got another thank you moment to Yvonne V, who very generously PayPal'd us £10 towards the channel since we were last on air. So I managed to get it onto the Wall of Champions, but I've not done an in-show acknowledgement. So here we go. So let's just quickly get organised. Thank you so much, Yvonne V. Awesome support. Really appreciated. Let's see if the fireworks fit on the same screen. Not quite. Uh-oh, it's a bit behind me. I'd like to say Logan Air, but I haven't got a clue. ERJ145. I'm going to say from Stavanger, but I'm not Dead sure if I'm honest. I'm sure it was due in around 1:30, but I stand to be corrected. Anyway, we've got Scotland's finest in the show. Right, I think I'm going to get in the chat. I don't think there's going to be a better moment. So, who we got? Nick Gray is on the move, off to Logan Airport, flying to Florida. I think I saw later on that he's off to see his dad. So, I don't know if you're hearing any of this, Nick, but have a great trip. So that's Nick. Hi to Chigwell's finest. Casey is in the house. Alexandra Wood, good afternoon to you. Oh, Nick's off with JetBlue. Very good. Oops, hang on a minute. What's going on here? They're still working away with the old diggers. They're on their way to Australia. I think we'll stay with this inbound Ryanair. JB85 is going to give us a wave on the Krakow flight. Not sure what time that one is or where JB is seated. If you're listening to this, JB, do let us know, my friend. Are you left or the right? Port or starboard, depending on how you like it. Good afternoon, Yvonne V. Thank Crunchy you're in the show. I was going to hold off with the firework moment and the slide, but then I thought, there's a better than 30% chance I'll forget to do it. And that won't do at all. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. So, Dopey Gorp and Rab I've said hi to. I feel a telescope is actually quite a realistic prospect today, partly because of the fact I can't see the approach in quite the same way, and because since I realised I've not uploaded those emojis, I've gone to pieces, like a 1,000-piece jigsaw. Stephen Marchant is in the house. How you doing, Stephen? I see your jet is not here. I think that goes out at 10 o'clock, doesn't it, on a Friday? As we track in with this Ryanair 737. Just shooting the breeze, as I like to do. Have folks seen on their news feeds about a passenger that's been claiming to have been hard done by Ryanair because they were charging extra to board the aircraft because she got a large, when I say large, a 750 millilitre water bottle that she was carrying on her person. One of those ones you top up yourself. Wasn't challenged on the way out, but apparently on the way back they said it's got to go in your carry-on luggage, and then that took the carry-on luggage beyond its fair assumptions. So they wanted 50 quid or 60 euros or something in that region, which she ended up paying, I think. What do you reckon? Was she being too optimistic with trying to bring her water onto the plane that way, or have Ryanair just been too pedantic? I'll have a look into the chat for that one in a minute. It's an interesting one because on all of my sort of trip type jaunts, I always buy 500ml bottles of water airside and carry one in each side of my coat pocket, so I know I've got water when I get to the sharp end of things. Quite important when it's hot, as you can appreciate. Anyway, the point is, fits in the pocket, no harm, no foul. Carry a 750 millilitre bottle of water around, well, on some kind of carrying harness around your neck, off your shoulder, you're probably just poking the bear, I think, personally. Not sure 50 quid's proportionate, but excess weight is never proportionate, is it? Ooh, I've got some snow in. I think it might snow round here tomorrow, but I think it's that rain meets snow kind of thing, 1 degree or thereabouts. Tempestade, for those of you who want to be reassured that I'm chilling. It's about 4 degrees Celsius. Feels like 1 degree according to the Met Office. I can guarantee you that their assessment is spot on. But it's dry, and that makes such a difference when it's cold. Different game entirely. HGC, good afternoon to you, and hello to Alibi58. Hope you're both doing well. Tony Rivers is in the house. Hello, hello. Hello, hello indeed. How are you going, Tony? Jimmy Jazz, over stateside, is in the show. Good afternoon, Jimmy Jazz. Well, good morning to you, of course. Thanks, HGC, as well, for confirming on sound. Jim33, you're definitely not too late. I can confirm that. Thank you, KC, for confirming on sound. Britannia 079, good afternoon, Mark. How are you doing? Thank you so much as well for your kind comment on hitting the 10k subscribers. Well, honestly, it's one of those shared together moments, and I've enjoyed every minute of the time since we were last on air. Got some great memories, and I'm looking forward to making some more great memories. Think about great memories, you always like a few more, don't you? Ash Watts, Daventry RC Spotter, good afternoon. Happy Valentine's Day. Yes, it's an interesting one. Anybody in the show failed to remember that it was Valentine's Day and had to nip round the filling station for a card? Or do you think it's all hype and overrated? That's the word I'm reaching for. What do we think? What does the chat think? I'm working you hard this afternoon. We had talked about that bottle of water on the Dublin flight. Certainly an expensive bottle of water, but Valentine's Day can be an expensive thing as well. I'll be really honest, me and Mrs. PSA, we had a pre-event powwow where we kind of said, look, you know, we'll stick with cards and treat ourselves each to something nice. I think that was really Mrs. PSA mitigating the risk that I might use my initiative. And as you all know in the show, not to be encouraged, is it? Me using my initiative. Just fiddling around with the camera lock at the minute, just bear with me. For some reason it's getting fiddly. Tell you what, let's go a bit longer. Good afternoon to Frank's Holslebor. Hello to you in Dortmund. What's the weather doing, Frank? What is the weather doing? Jim says the tower is looking the worst for wear. I think it's due a bit of TLC, if I'm honest. I mean, when you think about the fact there's an advertising logo there, it's kind of smudged in, isn't it? Definitely think it could do with a bit of love lavishing on it. As it's Valentine's Day, let's include the tower. Just stop over here for a second. So, where are we? Back to the chat. Good afternoon to Mary Brock, all the way the other side of the world in New South Wales. I am tickety-boo Mary. Hope you are too. Good afternoon as well to our good friend Yorkshire Biker. Happy Friday, pal. Yvonne V's 12 months tomorrow. Fireworks will be available to you, Yvonne, on Sunday. We will be live from Edinburgh. Cannot wait. Blessed as we are again with the star quality that is Linda Cooper. Looks like we're going to be on the mound again, so we should get some wave potential and some great sound and all the other trimmings. Well, I am gratified to see it. I've got at least one emoji correct for the show. lots of Jet 2 holidays. Oh, what can I hear behind me? Something's on final approach. I did say telescopes were a possibility. I weren't joking. Inbound aircraft is a Jet2.com from Alicante, departed 2 hours 37 minutes ago. Aircraft is a 737-800, 16 years of age. So the plan, yes, I do have a plan. Ooh, a little bit of a tipper. So the plan is, if the continuity works for us, we'll stream through till about 3 o'clock. That'll be the plan, because the continuity just doesn't work out. There's a couple of interesting movements out of that, depending on your disposition. So Newcastle United are due to go out at 3:30, but there's a solid half an hour gap, and I'm not going to do a webcam type stream where I'm just streaming nothing happening for half an hour. That's just not how we roll at Plain Sailing Aviation. But if anything fills the gaps in, that's good. And we've also got, which is unusual for us, less unusual for the bigger airports obviously, we've got an EasyJet A321 due in from Bristol at 5 to 4. And again, there's a little bit of a gap between 3:30 and 4. So we're going to see how it works out. If it doesn't work out, I'll film it as a separate clip and it will go out as members exclusive. So you won't miss a thing. The only question is whether we get to do it live or not. I've got a Cessna 680 Citation Latitude that departed just before we went live as well. I'll show you that clip in a minute. Right, I'm delighted to confirm that the 777 is pushing. So let's go to that. So here's your big plane, just starting to work its way back. Good afternoon, RCC. How goes it, Rob? Keeping well at this end, mate. So you did manage to get the Black Sabbath tickets. I didn't realise, I'd seen that the gig was announced. I didn't realise the tickets had gone out so close to the announcement. Now that's a queue and a half, isn't it? 138,000. I think I've said on the stream previously, the last time I tried to book anything online was it wasn't Michael McIntyre, Peter Kay, that tour that he cancelled. Having spent a whole Sunday morning trying, on the laptop, trying to jump my way into the queue and didn't get anywhere, so I thought, nah. I mean, it would have been for nothing anyway, but because obviously the tour never happened. But and it's always frustrating because you know that all the ticketing agencies and all the scalpers and whatever, they absolutely get wadges of tickets. Ah, very nifty, Stephen Marchant. Very nifty. £58 to Tenerife. Is that with carry-on luggage, overhead luggage, or is that just straight under the seat? Canny price. In fact, is that there and back for 58 quid or 58 quid each way? It's a canny price, whichever way you want to calibrate it. Okay, let's try and catch the chat up. Hello to Mike Wild. A very good afternoon to you, Mike. Happy Friday. Well, unless you're on a late shift on a Friday, but if it's the last shift of the week, all is not lost. Kind of feels like the light is fading out here as well. I think when I checked the forecast originally, the prognosis was going to be for it brightening up in the afternoon. Still it is mid-February. So is anybody in the show going out for a meal tonight or lavishing much expense on a loved one? Good afternoon, Gary Fleming. How are you doing, my friend? Yeah, I watched the BA Go Rab. I think I may have that on the camcorder. I have, but I just haven't got it. It's not shareable on the camcorder, so I'll stick that on the members feed as well. So yeah, you definitely haven't missed a sausage. If it's been here when I've been here, I got it for once. Canal Kurdistan, hello to you. A very happy Friday. Good afternoon, Ian Nicholson as well. Hope you're keeping well, my friend. Yeah, Yvonne V, I'm impressed. It's lovely to have you in the house. Lovely to have you in the house. It's always, it's just so much on the go, isn't there? So yeah, hope you've got a nice brew to hand. Perhaps complemented with a couple of biscuits. Keith Cornell is 99.999% fit. I think Keith's fitness coefficient is probably somewhere in the same kind of mathematical complexity as calculating pi. Nice, mate. I think that makes you match fit, does it not? Right, Stream Jumpy says, Rab, sorry, I am behind. I'll take the ticker off. Let's just see. The ticker will be slightly jumpy. But anyway, you got the general gist of the message. Rab, let me know if that cures it for you. Has anybody else got the same issue? Nick Gray, good afternoon, Nick. Are you in Florida now, or are you 35,000 feet and upwards? Good afternoon, Terry the Artist. How you doing, my friend? Have you had some happy hunting? Are the skies blue? Jim 33, member for 6 months. Love this channel and community, and we love having you as part of that, Jim. Bit of photo bombing there, unauthorised. We'll go over here. Let's just rest there for the minute. Change of scenery just for a nanosecond. Jim 33, here's your fireworks, pal. Right, let's get back to the big one. Just check it hasn't gone anywhere. Right, so in terms of the feed, thanks Rab, I've seen your comment. Alibi, if it's still pestering you that way, you perhaps want to refresh it. We're not dropping frames at this end. The trouble with ticker tapes is that, certainly the ticker tape that we have at our disposal, it's only got about 4 settings on it, 4 or 5 settings, and I've gone slow with it. Perhaps it should have gone faster, I don't know. Okay, so I am still, okay, let's have a look. Got to take the fireworks off. A bit of See, it looks stable on my screen, but what can't speak can't lie, can it? If it's bobbing around, it's bobbing around. Right, I'll go bottom up in the chat. Stephen says, live stream cutting out. I think this is more likely to be a YouTube problem. I'm dropping nothing here. Everything is connected. I'm just going to adjust the settings slightly, not because I think I found something, but in fact, no, I'll go leave it where it is for the minute. I might be disappearing down the wrong rabbit hole. Terry, is Concorde coming? I got my head under the bonnet. I'm a little bit puzzled why we seem to have an issue. I'll just see what it looks like on my phone. It looks okay on my tablet, but my tablet... See, it looks okay on my phone, looks okay on the tablet, so thank you AJ Kemba, okay for you as well. Well listen folks, it's a YouTube issue if it's in anything, it's definitely not our setup, that much I can confirm. I've kind of stripped everything off it, we're not dropping any frames, there's nothing that should be baking us, but who knows. Right, I'm going to go bottom up now because I am a bit behind, so good afternoon AJ Kemba. As I'm saying, thanks on the picture guidance. HGC has got picture okay, Chipaz is okay, so Rab and anybody else that is affected, it's not within my gift, my friends. If you can't refresh your way out of it, I'm not sure what else to suggest. It feels more of a YouTube server type regional issue. That's the one I was looking for, Rab. Regional. Blinking annoying though, isn't it? So Jimmy Jazz all the way over the pond has got no issues. Ian Nicholson's fine. Stream's okay for Ash Watts. I'm going to look out for that Concorde, Terry the artist. Chipaz says the EasyJet 321 hasn't left Lisbon yet, so I'm not going to be getting that then. That takes care of that. Thanks, Sam. Oh. Light aircraft on the way in, perhaps? I think so. Right, we've seen how that worked out. We've got to go with the big one. Beautiful. Good afternoon, Mark Pride. So let's have a look. Steve Marchant talking about his ticket to Tenerife. 28 going, 30 for the return. That is class. What kind of time are you going? Is it like middle of the night, that kind of thing? Hello to Audrey McDonald. How you doing, Audrey? Hope you're keeping well. just need a little bit more tail and a bit less picket fence. There we go. Hello to Linda Cooper. How you doing, Linda? Ooh. Plenty of rubber. Right, so Stephen's got no live picture. Really bad, says Rab. I don't know what to do, folks, because I can't. You've not all got the same problem, but I don't want to be broadcasting tat. Stephen Marchant is back, done a bit of jiggery pokery. Let's say it all looks clean at this end. Right, Mark Pride, member for 8 months. Mark, I've taken the fireworks off, my friend, but thank you so much for your amazing support over 8 months. I've just stripped everything off, so I've got no variables at this end, but as I say, this feels YouTubey. There's a lot to fit in. Good afternoon. Train and train spotting around the UK. Thanks for confirming the picture's good with you. Folks who get Airliner World see the piece in the latest edition about the last, or looks like the last 777-300ER was delivered in December to Ethiopian Airlines, originally having been ordered for China Eastern or China Southern, I forget. I'd not realised they'd stopped making them. Right, all cleared without Alibi 58. Feels like some indigestion that's clearing the YouTube system. Ain't tech a palaver. We'd rather have it, of course, but when it don't play nicely, it's a reed scratcher. We'll just track in with the Malaga arrival. Thank you RCC for confirming that it's working okay for you. They'll probably stand it all on its head in a minute, and it'll probably be those who haven't had the problem are going to get it, and those who had it don't have it no more. Let's file that one under the heading, yeah, I can't make it up. Right, let's see what we've got action-wise. I'm thinking that Eastern Airways are due in shortly, or they're overdue. They, of course, who are doing the Amsterdam wet leasing for KLM, they were due in at 1:15. Oh, thank you, Trains and Train Spotting around the UK. Exactly that. 7 minutes out, so there is the question answered. Just been cleared to drop to 3,000 feet. Tony Rippers cleaning the cache. I kind of thought it might be an oblique reference to money laundering too. My laptop's pretty much at its max in terms of hard drive space. Keep getting these messages saying you can't get your updates unless you clear some more stuff off, and that's where the stress kicks in, really. Thank you, Chipaz 1990. So the Eastern Embraer 170, which is due in just after 2 o'clock, has just landed at Blackpool, which suggests it will be a little bit later here. We'll just stay where the action is. Oh, I did not know that, Yorkshire biker. A cache? Cachet? What's the difference between a cache and cachet? I know cachet is... Oh, there's a T, is there not, on the end of cachet? Cachette. Cache. Hidden. Every day a school day. In comes the gas. Tell you what, there's plenty of high-vis bibs. Oh, blimey, Nick Gray. That's going to be a nuisance and a half, is it not? Have they given you an indication in terms of how delayed you're going to be? Because it doesn't sound like your cabin crew are going to be joining you anytime soon. So our next arrival, as trailed in the chat, is an Eastern Airways KLM wet lease, an Embraer E190 long range, 18 years of age, departed Schiphol around 50 minutes or thereabouts. We'll put that on cam in a second. Best case scenario for Nick. Best case, 90-minute delay. Hope they're looking after you. Quick look over my shoulder just to see if I can get eyes on with the inbound aircraft. Failed with that one. Chipaz says we need a Pegasus. No, we don't. Well, actually, I don't know. Perhaps it would add something. Bit of variety. We get Sun Express here at Newcastle, don't we? And is it Freebird we also get? Right, I can just about see the inbound aircraft, so inbound action coming your way, folks. Ooh, check those birds that scattered on the left-hand side of the screen. Nowhere near the inbound plane, but a hell of a flock. Anyone know in the chat how long the Eastern Airways contract is with KLM? I know they had something similar with German Airways as well, and I guess it's all wrapped in and around aircraft on order. There's Chipaz 1990 referenced in the chat. Eastern are also due in during our runtime with an Embraer 170. 170 long range, I think, which kind of made me smile because I think as the crow flies, Manchester's probably 100 nautical miles from here. A lot longer by car, but as the crow flies, certainly not a monster journey. And the 170, the Embraer 170, when it comes, will be bearing Newcastle United over to Manchester for their fixture with Manchester City. Leave that one. Philip Borin, hello to you. Hope you're keeping well. Happy Friday. It's the contrast, Nick, isn't it? You're sitting there waiting for cabin crew that are snowbound in New York, and where you're going, the sun shines brightly and the sea is blue and all that. You will get there. Yvonne V's got snow in Yorkshire, and that's a 2, so who else has got that? Is it Yorkshire Biker? So it looks like we're going to get a tasty overfly. Cloud cover being what it is, it's not even a long shot. A Lufthansa cargo 777F shortly to overfly us on its way to Mexico City. So currently the wind's still very much south-southeasterly, shaping up at around, or topping out at around 20 knots. And that's got a variable element of crosswind, topping at around 17 knots, which has the potential just to make it interesting in that final stage of approach. Tell you what, Rab H, you are going at 2025. 721. What would you have been at this point last year? That's the thing. What's your year-for-year comparison? For some reason, I think Logan Air might be the next one to go, but I'm not entirely sure why I'm thinking that, so I'll look it up. They're off to Exeter at 2:20, so half an hour. Obviously the bags aren't on yet, so let's just have a quick browse and see what is next to happen. So actually, next to go is gonna be the return flight to Dublin by Ryanair, as far as I can tell. Good afternoon, Alan Lee. How you doing? So Rab, you think you were more last year? 500 in January alone. It's not really been that kind of year so far, has it? Still, I reckon you're handily placed. So we have a bit of bizjet action as well. Oh, I know what I haven't shown you. Remiss of me, team. So we did have a Air Scotland charter Cessna 680A Citation Latitude depart very shortly before we kicked off. If I can find it, I'll share it. Let's have a look. So let's just hope. I got most of it anyway. So I'm going to put that on screen next. It's a very short clip, but you might as well have a quick look at the BizJet action that we got. I'm back. Oh, thank Crunchy. At least I packed the BizJet emoji. So I've got Jet 2 and I've got a BizJet. Tell you what, it might be Friday, 5 o'clock and crackerjack and all that, but they are beavering away over there on their journey to the centre of the earth. Good afternoon, Paul's Hijinks. How are you, Paul? Never mind, Stephen Marchant. Main thing is you bagged a canny fare, £58 to Tenerife return. You couldn't get to York on the train for that kind of money. Right, sounds like we have some jet action with you momentarily. We've got a Chewy 737-800 inbound from Enfida, just been cleared or seeking permission to drop, no, cleared actually, to 3,000 feet. You know, every time I hear the train, I keep thinking I'll put the camera on it, and then by the time I thought of it, it's gone. Hey, good afternoon, Deborah Me. How are you doing, Deborah? It's definitely what Chipaz 1990 says, freezing Friday. Although I don't think it's going to be that grand, certainly in Northumberland on Saturday. Possibility of snow, or very cold rain, or a bit of sleet. Take your pick. So the inbound Chewy jet should be with us in 6 according to flight radar. So standing by. I think we might be getting a bit of movement on the Ryanair departure to Dublin as well. No, still boarding. For some reason I got it in my head that they'd finished boarding. Loganair starting to get fizzy with a busy, boarding wise. So it looks like our inbound Eastern Airways from Blackpool, the ride that is picking up Newcastle United, is showing live on flight radar. Show on map. Yes, please. Is it in the sky? No. In fact, if I'd care to look, it's showing 0 feet as well in terms of altitude. So just watch that one. Mind you, I don't think it takes long to get from Blackpool to here. Yeah, Keith Cornell, you're looking at your comment about the steps or the lack of steps for that ERJ 145. Let's just pivot back to it, case in point. It's very bizjetty, isn't it? Very bizjetty. A very low slung aircraft. I love the CRJ, well, CRJ 1000s actually. They are great. The 900s too. Get that same kind of vibe. So our inbound Chewy, final approach. What's it doing at the minute? Currently at just shy of 1500 feet and decreasing. I've not got visual yet, but that's just going to be a matter of seconds really. Ryanair still boarding away their Dublin departure. Snow Saturday, says Audrey. What do you reckon, Audrey? Snow enough to make the roads difficult, or just snowing and not settling kind of day? Quite fancy a walk on Saturday, if I'm honest, but I don't fancy getting stuck anywhere. Right, I've just about on my tiptoes got eyes on with the inbound aircraft. Right, let's go hunting. Audrey says, couple of centimetres inland. That's enough to make it scenic, just the right amount. Good afternoon, SE Aviation. How you doing? Thanks, Chipaz. The Eastern Embraer 170 departing Blackpool now. Was due in at something like 8 minutes past 2. I don't think it's going to be that late. You might be able to hear some of that Jetstream drone. That's Jetstream 41 on its way from Humberside to Aberdeen. To be fair, Rab, they've probably not got enough grit round here either for a centimetre's worth of snow. Yep, truck's back again. Well, there's no urgency at the minute, nothing is on approach. Well, not strictly true, we've got a Ryanair from Faro, which ain't that far out, a 737 MAX 8-200, 1 year of age, it says here, but it's nearer 2 than 1. Entering service with the airline in June 2023. Just noticed on flight radar, random thing that you do when you're looking for the incoming traffic, we've got a Lufthansa A321 going into Teesside. Naive as I may be, I didn't even realise that Lufthansa did Teesside. I know KLM do. The flight radar picture is the classic Lufthansa, and I kind of find myself wondering whether that is a scheduled route or whether it's on its way in for a new paint job. Thanks, Chipaz. Maintenance. Tech maintenance or paint maintenance. So our inbound Ryanair from Faro anyway departed 2 hours 41 minutes ago, and it should be, according to flight radar, with us in 3 minutes. It looks like the steps are off that baby. Chipaz, I think you could be onto something, mate. He's blinking cold. As I was saying earlier in the show, the main thing though is it's dry. Cold's okay. Cold and wet, different proposition. But no, I'll not be doing any dancing today. Well, not unless the red arrows come through or something exceptional. I am prepared to trip the light fantastic for that. Tell you what, it's a nice gentle approach. The aircraft itself was scheduled, this is a delayed one I think looking at it, 12:50 originally scheduled, so the passengers will be relieved. Right, I've just about got eyes on it, you're going to have eyes on it too. Yeah Ash, it ain't raining. I take my hat off to you, I'm telling you now. I washed my car yesterday. Hands ain't recovered yet. Exactly that, Rab. So you washed yours today? I just looked at mine, I thought this is terrible. It's, yeah, it's, you're just going to have to suck it up, Mark, I says. Get yourself out there. Crikey. Very genteel. Helicopter departure. Let's just veer to the right. The wind is just starting to pick up a little bit. Loganair have pushed and turned. Taking the conversation away from the planes momentarily. Folks seen, I'm guessing most of you have on your various feeds and whatever, that footage of that bloke in his canoe or whatever it was getting eaten briefly by a humpback whale, or, well, a whale, and then kind of spat out in the same movement. I mean, apart from all the initial sort of, can that be true? Have I just seen that? Well, you're not struck by the fact that Dad just kept the camera running. If that had been our Eddie, I would have just sat there filming it. I'm not saying I would have, I don't know what I'd have done, but you're not going to be rescuing him. But I guess suddenly you're not pointing the camera because you're suddenly really worried about someone that you love. It just seemed weird to me. Anyway, all's well that ends well. Dad just carried on filming it like it was filming, you know, the kids' Christmas play or something. But no question, you're right, Chip, as one lucky fella. In fact, beyond lucky. Yeah, just looking in the chat, the conversation about auto car washes. Yeah, I'm not particularly, I haven't used one for years. Mainly because you do fear damage, don't you? So we are well into the final hour of the show, I think. Good afternoon, now W-8. Yeah, Yorkshire biker, back to the canoe guy. Lottery ticket territory, although to be fair, he's had his 1,000,000 to 1 bit of luck, really. Yeah, fish supper indeed, Alibi 58. Just seem crackers to watch it. You think, is this some kind of AI thing? And then when you realise it's not. Oh, thanks, Chipaz. So the A321 that I was going to hang on to get for you is a 320 now anyway. I did wonder why they'd assigned the bigger aircraft. They don't usually put the A321 onto any of their Newcastle routes as such, unless there's something exceptional happening, and I couldn't work out what that exceptional was. Thank you, HGC. Oh, hang on a minute, plane sneaking out. Sneaking out. Off to Exeter. Sounds like we've got a helicopter inbound. Yeah, I'm just looking at the comments on that Logan Air departure. Rab H talking about the rudder working overtime. Definitely got a bit of a wibble on. Very wibbly. So our favourite helicopter, G-Hals, on its way back round. You can probably hear it now in the background. Pretty much directly overflying me this time. Nick Gray says, Robinson off 44. Yes, indeed. Although I had to look on flight radar for that. Helicopters not quite being my mastermind subject. A Raven 2, 18 years of age as well, just to complete the set. So, good afternoon to anybody that has recently joined the show. Welcome to a very chilly, but very dry Newcastle Airport. The plane you're looking at should be, oh, I thought this was going back to Dublin. Apparently, if I've clicked on the right thing, it's in fact going to Gran Canaria. Well, temperature prospects couldn't be more different, could they? Our next arrival will be the keenly awaited Eastern Airways Embraer 170 flight inbound from Blackpool on its way in to collect Newcastle United. I think there's plenty enough time for this to get out in front of it. Nick says, was that sunlight he saw in Newcastle? Oh, hang on, there is a bit of blue sky opening up. And I see a bit of vapour trail behind me. They did say it would brighten for an hour or two. I'd given it up, but it suddenly appeared. Yes, we have dapples of blue in the sky. Right, we've also got Jet2 Holidays Tenerife departure flagging up. If it's the aircraft I'm thinking it is though, the doors are still open. Looks like the plane on screen is going to have to hold for the Eastern arrival. It's nicely on to finals now, so no time to do out different. Quick skyscrape moment. Lord knows what it is, but there's 4 engines. So yeah, Nick, you were right. There's a bit of blue. A taster. Right, Jet2 Tenerife flight pushing back. You'll see the tail fin moving in the back of that shot. Sunny in Chigwell, says KC. Thanks, Rab. So that plane I was chasing around forlornly after, a lofty 747 to Toronto. Right, inbound plane. So this is Newcastle United's ride out to Manchester. So this will be a back track, as it's going to be off to the BizJet park on the right hand side of the runway. I think Chip has. Footballers these days fly everywhere, don't they? No mega bus for them. Good afternoon, Melody. Oh, how you doing, Melody? That helicopter has just snuck out in front of the Ryanair. I think Gary Fleming, I think they all seem to send their buses to the end destination, don't they? Okay, so the helicopter is still to clear at the minute. Stripy Condor flying behind me, an A330 from Frankfurt to Toronto, and all the blue skies filled in. I blame Rab. There was a nice little pond of blue sky and it is literally all gone. And I can see just the traces of the vapour trail. Man, that bites. That is my favourite Stripy Condor. The gold one. I think it's gold. Or is it yellow? Bye. Let's just see where the Jet 2 Tenerife departure has got to. It ain't moved. Let's have a look. So I was talking about gold Condor, yellow Condor, beige beach livery, says Yorkshire Biker. Beige beach. Yeah, doesn't sound great, does it? Good night, Mary Brock. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope to see you Sunday when we are back at Edinburgh. I think our helicopter is shortly to return to the show. We've also got, I didn't realise this was on the menu, but I'm already excited, a Bombardier Global 7500. Off to Rome, just fired up. So unless it's a maintenance start or something, I'm all excitable. It's on flight radar, it says Rome, it says scheduled to go, actually 15:45, so ain't going anywhere too soon. Let's let that one go. So there is the recently arrived Embraer 170 long range, shortly to collect Newcastle United. Of course, we'll not get to see them board from that position, which is a shame, but there you go. Good afternoon, Daniel Watkins. How goes it? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to a very chilly Newcastle. Well, I think everywhere is chilly by the sounds of it. Tell you what though, cold as it may be, I was saying earlier in the show, these guys ain't hanging around, toiling away. Well, moreover, here than there. Anyway, back to the planes. We are moving. Oh. Not sure what's occurring there. Anyway, next up from us, inbound from Leeds Bradford, we have a smart jet, a Hawker Beechcraft 400 XP coming our way, 19 years of age. Better watch out for this one because it's probably a telescope on wings. Currently just shy of 2,000 feet. It is nicely on final approach. Gordon Bennett, Melody R, minus 28C. Now you see, this is summer then, isn't it? Definitely summer. Minus 28 degrees C. That would be no good in the UK. As I've lamented previously on a show, you can't even get screen wash easily in the UK that gets you to minus 10. Never mind minus 28. Would be knackered. Ash Watts, that sounds class, man. Sounds expensive, but it definitely sounds class. Good stuff. Right, inbound action coming your way. Actually, it's closing fast now. Just a nippy little thing. Hey. Right, I'm sure we'll see that again. I think it's based here, isn't it? G-Hulls. It's like we've got the Jet 2 phase of the show now. One in the background, strolling by. We'll have a look, see where that's going in a minute. I think there was 3 or 4 departures all due to happen at a similar time. Off to crack off. Good afternoon, John Kenneth Williams. Happy Friday to you. Good shape here, mate. Tell you what, that windsock hasn't stinted any, has it? It's really, it's blowier than it feels. Should just be a turn and burn really. Clear track. Okay, on the Jet 2 conveyor belt of talent is our next one. Off to Prague, the plane on screen. I have to be honest, Rob H, I'm coming round to a new realisation that 0 degrees ain't bad. Not when you think about Melody R's minus 28. Can you imagine scraping the windscreen on a minus 28 day? So KLM now transponding away cheerfully, the return flight to Amsterdam Schiphol. They've pushed and turned. I see a tail. I think we'll stay here for the minute. So where is our eastern departure? It's moved. There it is. A bit of it anyway. Looks like Ryanair busy boarding their next departure. To remind myself, where that might be. I think the plane on screen is... good question. It's Dublin. I think this was in the chat earlier on, wasn't it, about the planes being switched. So yeah, this is Dublin. Yeah, I think you're right now, W. In a warm house, looking out over a snowy wonderland. I think there must be something quite therapeutic about that kind of -28 polar freeze kind of thing. Much less fun if you're out in it. Right, Eastern are moving. And they're just going to emerge somewhere around here. And away we go. Right, and the next. Yeah, Gary, I'm still on telescope 1, mate. It's not bad, is it, for mid-February? It's not good, it's not bad. Yeah, just the one, mate. Thanks for asking. I really thought I was going to blow it today, but hey-ho. Tony Rivers, happy hunting with those things to do and places to go. See you Sunday. Toodles indeed, my friend. Don't worry, John Kenneth Williams. Leicester City's fortunes at football this season are priced in. If they had to play extra time out, they'd have lost anyway. Balance of the game had changed. Look at those birds. I was watching them out of my peripheral vision, wondering if they'd cut the shot. Some of them did. That's sure a lot of feathers. Catch you later, Ash Watts, and good afternoon to H. Dot. Looks like we're getting some bird scaring on the go. And it's working. Ah, the exodus of birds. What's going on here? So the bird scaring vehicle is slightly out of shot. Yeah, it's a shame, Rab, that global ain't going out till 3:45. We're at finish time technically now, so I'm just trying to figure out if we've run our course action-wise. We may well have. I've got a feeling there was a couple more. Keith Cornell, see you Sunday, mate. So I'm just having a quick check that I'm not missing anything here. No, I think we are done and dusted on action, in which case I think the Dublin departure was the stairs are off. Yeah, pushing. We're going to finish with this. That is the final plane of the show. So yeah, we are played out with this. Well, it's not transponding on flight radar, but it's definitely going. Rob H, my pleasure. I'm sorry that some of you had some YouTube, or I think it must be YouTube because different internet providers up and down the land, but a decent number of you had quality issues in the front end of the stream. It's always frustrating when things don't quite go to script, but hey ho. So let's just languish on this departing Ryanair. Thank you, Yorkshire Biker, for your kind comment as well. Action's been a bit thin. I think that is a fair thing to say. It's always the tricky bit with Newcastle. Sometimes you get rewarded with some extra bits you weren't expecting. And we've had a little bit of that, but the winter timetable really hasn't been our friend at Newcastle. I think that's a fair thing to say. There's just not the density of traffic that will come our way once we get to summer. Tell you what, they are giving it great beans, scaring them birds. They've got 2 vehicles on it now. Oh no, I think one guy's doing a different job there. Anyway. Just park up there. Nick Gray, have a lovely flight, mate. Glad to have been able to help you while away a bit of the time. Have a great time in Florida, and we look forward to catching you when we next catch you. Tell you what, I'm just going to go to camera, do my thank yous, and then we'll cut out with the plane, hopefully. Let's just see if I can fit in the screen. Oh dear, do I look cold? I kind of feel like a face is frozen kind of thing. Anyway, thank you so much everybody for watching the show this afternoon. It's always a pleasure to get back down to Newcastle. Feels a bit too long. We just need a bit more traffic if we're really truthful. It's been a bit spotty, but we've enjoyed what we've had, so thank you for that. As always, shout out for those who've supported the show and have had something to celebrate, or we've had something to celebrate during the course of the run. Yvonne V, we did fireworks for Yvonne's very kind PayPal donation. Thank you, Yvonne. Chipaz 1990 celebrated 8 months with the channel. Jim 33, 6 months with the channel. And Mark Pride, 8 months with the channel. Next action from us is Edinburgh on Sunday. Myself and Linda on commentary. Runway 06, so we're going to be on the mound, reverse ops. I think the weather forecast might be a bit uneven, could be a wet one, not sure. Either which way, hope to see you. I'm going to put the camera back on the plane and hopefully we'll fade out with that. I'll stay on commentary till it goes. If it doesn't move soon, we'll probably have to cut our losses. But anyway, going to go the other way around now. They've not quite finished what they're doing on the runway. I think is it one of those? I forgot what the, excuse me, that little thing on the back. I've seen it at Edinburgh before, but I can't remember. It's not going to show itself in shot now, is it? Like a little trailer. That's what's holding us up. That's the thing, Yorkshire biker, thank you. It's some sort of grip friction coefficient. I'll look it up for Sunday. Somebody knew that when it came up at Edinburgh some months ago now. Because obviously de-rubbering the runway as well is a big thing, isn't it? I'm not quite sure where they've got to with the resurfacing work here. Anybody know? It was supposed to be finished by March, but I just can't tell from this perspective where they've got to. But yeah, Yorkshire biker, I'm with you. I think it is something to do with grip, but I'll find out for sure between now and Sunday. Yeah, they've just been given the nod. So, final plane of the show. Of course, before I go off air as well, I just want to say a massive thank you to our moderators team for today's show. Rab H, Alibi 58, Dopey Gorp and Nell W. Don't think I've missed anybody else. That's the sound of Mark blowing on his hands because he took his gloves off and he can't get his hands back in them. Thinking it, that helicopter's back again. Come on, chopper man. I think I'll let this one overfly me actually. pick him up on the downdraft. Right, we'll leave that go. Yeah. I think he's good to go. How you doing? Okay, final plane of the show, blasting off. Okay folks, you know what I'm going to say next? Stay safe, have fun. In fact, actually, thinking about it, stay warm as well, although that's probably going to be easier for some than others. Nick Gray in particular, in his tropical temperatures. Anyway, take care, see you Sunday.